What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are having a little powwow today. We're going to have a little discussion about you as an investor and as a speculator, as a researcher. None of this is financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm nobody's financial advisor. I'm just giving you my opinions, how I go about things whenever I do research, and how I just kind of look at things whenever it comes to really anything. Crypto, the frame of thinking I'm going to offer, it started only with crypto, and later I started to apply it to basically all aspects of life, and I found it to be very helpful when discerning accurate versus inaccurate information, okay, or information that you're not even aware of what's true, but you're at least aware of what's a lie. And this is a little bit inspired by something that I just said in my most recent video, talking about Mana Decentraland, and that is it's essentially pertaining to the media, okay, and contrarianism. As an investor, as a speculator, and I think as a human too, but just specifically as a speculator and an investor, I think it's very important to hold contrarianism to your heart, to your head. You should think in the ways of a contrarian. What is contrarianism? It is simply the the aspect of thought in which an individual thinks opposite of the herd. Contrarianism is simply, it's just simply you automatically believe the opposite of what the majority of people believe, right? If everybody in crypto is telling you the cycle is going to end in October 2025, that's me. I think it's going to end in October 2025, but everybody's saying that, that should put a little red bell in your head, or a siren. I don't know. That should put a warning in your head saying, hold on, we all think that the cycle is going to end at the exact same time. That should be concerning. That should tell you, right? The smart money, they're not going to get in. They're not going to leave the markets when everybody's leaving the markets. If everybody is expecting that the cycle ends in October of 2025, they're going to get out beforehand, or they'll get out afterwards, and they'll take all that liquidity. They'll see that everybody's trying to sell. They'll buy it up. They'll send the bags higher, letting those people FOMO in back in at higher prices. All I'm trying to say is the more the more real something is made out to be before it actually happens, the more accepted by the public eye as it is just reality before it actually happens, the more likely, and it's not 100% guaranteed, but the more likely it won't happen, okay? I want to reflect this kind of thought into this alt market, altcoin dilemma, right? A lot of people right now, the majority of people in crypto, are presumptuous, and they're assuming that there will be no alt season. And me as a contrarian, that's the best thing that you could ever hear. We're on the brink. Right now, you guys, we're on the brink of alt season. We're on the brink of this phenomenal end of cycle, end of bull cycle crypto finale that lasts for months, basically a year. We're on the brink of that. If that were true, if we were on the brink of that, and the average investor was saying the same thing, we're on the brink of this, I'm so excited, we're about to blow up, we're going to do so many things, it's going to be good, this is the best part of the cycle. If everybody was saying that, I would be scared. And retrospectively, back in November, December, everybody was saying that. Everybody was expecting that. All that was the whole, my mic just cut out, sorry, I was trying to fix it. That was the whole thing. Everybody was excited that alt season was starting back in November, December, because Bitcoin dominance was dropping. Now it's at new relative highs, right? But now everybody's saying there is no alt season. It's never gonna come. We're never gonna have an alt season again. And just that offer, I'm getting too specific on alt season here. I wasn't trying to make this video about that. But just using that as an idea, right? That should get you excited. If in the ways of contrarianism you hear the average person saying something, that should get you excited. Whenever it's negative, it should get you worried if it's too positive, right? Everybody, my first crypto cycle that I got in, it was the 2017 cycle, and everybody in December, whenever Bitcoin was at 20K, everybody in December was saying we were going to 50K. It was undeniable. Everybody was saying it. We're going to 50K. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. You hear stuff like that while you've already made a massive move up, right? We've already seen. Let's actually find Bitcoin here. Let's go on the charts here. Let's see. On a monthly basis, right? You're at 20K. You're up here. No, sorry. All the way back here. You're at 20K, you're at the end of a move like this and people are saying we're going to go to 50K. It should have been obvious, right? You've already done your thing. You've already seen, you're so far away from your prior all-time high. You've been moving up month after month after month for the last year. We were very overbought in the monthly RSI. We're nowhere near the overbought zone now. I'm just saying it should have been obvious. But beyond all the technicals, beyond the charts, it should have been obvious just from the state of contrarianism that the average person was expecting Bitcoin to blow up. That should be a concern. Right now, the average person, I wouldn't even say the average person is expecting Bitcoin to go down to 70K or lower. I don't know. Maybe the average person is, maybe the average person isn't. But the average person right now is rather discouraged for the crypto markets, right? People don't know what to do. They're wondering if they made the right choice, if they're in the right asset class. That kind of stuff should get you excited, okay? I'm spending too much time talking about alt season. I want to wrap this up so that it's not too long of a video. But another concept where you can apply this to life, okay? And I'm going to go over some examples right now. I don't want to get political. I don't want to get geopolitical. I don't care about trying to open up a can of worms and start shit with people, all right? I'm not, that's not the point of what I'm about to say, okay? But it's the truth, what I'm about to say. It's all very true. So I remember whenever COVID started that the average person, right? First off, the average person during COVID thought that we were mandatory. It was a mandatory thing that we were in quarantine. It was never mandatory. COVID was never mandatory. It was never a mandatory thing. It never was. You could have looked it up on your state's website, and I did, but the local media outlets, they made it seem as though it was mandatory. They even said it was mandatory. So me, just being the person that I am, whenever I heard things like that from the media saying these things are mandatory, when everybody else is accepting it as reality, I'm like, okay, hold on, let me look up the actual protocols on the state's website. And lo and behold, you find that it's the opposite. Nobody knows what they're talking about. They only know what the media tells them to know, right? The state can't tell you these things, right? If the state were to tell you that it was mandatory, that would have been illegal. That would have been a lie. But the media telling you it's mandatory as a headline and then not really saying it's mandatory at all, it's misleading, but it's not a lie, right? You see how it's not illegal. The media doesn't care. The media, and then just in respects to COVID, but outside of COVID too, just in respects to everything else, I'll go over some other examples too. The media is not there to help you. If you're looking at MSNBC or CNN or Fox or ABC, whatever your major news network is, if you're not in America, whatever other major news network you're using, they're not trying to tell you the truth. They never are. That's not the purpose of the media. The purpose is engagement. The purpose is entertainment to some degree. And the purpose is to not trigger, it's to gear you mentally. It's to prepare you mentally for whatever agenda or plan that is trying to be set forth, whatever the standard is in society, right? Whenever Russia and Ukraine went to war with each other, the United States media painted Vladimir Putin as this crazy madman with a thumb on a nuclear button. World War III is going to start at any time. He's a power-hungry warmonger, right? And when I heard that, and I hear people, I hear my own family members, I hear my own friends, people who have no idea about anything geopolitical at all, but the only reason they have an opinion is because some talking head on a major mainstream media piece was telling them what to think, and they literally regurgitate the same thing that they heard, that I heard. It tells me, okay, so people don't know anything, right? People don't know anything. I literally thought from that perspective, I'm like, okay, so this is wrong. This is the lie. You might not know what the truth is, but you know what the lie is. The lie at the time was Vladimir Putin is a warmongering, crazy madman with his hand on a nuclear button and was ready to start World War III at any moment. And he's not going to stop until he gets total world domination. That was the lie. And that was very clearly the lie because that was what they were saying the loudest. Here we are, no World War III. No threats of nuclear bombs at all, right? Vladimir might have talked about it, whatever, and I don't like Putin. I'm not trying to get political. It's nothing about that. I don't support Putin. I don't support what's going on in Ukraine, right? I don't support what's going on in Russia, and I don't think Putin's a madman, is all I'm trying to say. Whether you like him or not, doesn't matter. If you think that he's a madman, you're wrong. You're just sucking the media's tit, is what you're doing. You're believing whatever they tell you blindly. He's clearly not a madman. Clearly not. If he was, we would have been blown up already. He's a very smart and tactical man. Is he a good man? That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying if he's good or bad. I don't care, right? I don't think he's a good man, personally. But again, I'm not trying to get political. There might be people in here that like him or think that he's a good man. I'm not trying to offend. I'm not trying to start any of that shit. There might be people who don't like him and they hear me saying that he's smart or tactical or strategic, or they're looking at my hair flopping up. I don't know. Whatever it is that you're focusing on, stop focusing on it. Focus on the message that I'm trying to say, which is that the media at the time I knew was lying, or at least I knew what the lie was, because that was what they were saying the loudest, right? Whenever people were talking about COVID and saying that masks were the mandate, that you had to wear masks, it was the most effective way to stop the the I was going to say transmutation, but the transcription, what the the spreading. It was the only thing to stop the spreading. Whenever I found that out, I did my own research. So I'm like, okay, so that's the lie. What's the truth? The truth is masks don't do anything for stopping the spread of disease, right? It's cleaning your hands. It's proper hygiene that stops the spread of disease, and that's so obvious. Everybody knows that, right? Any person with a half brain could know that, but nobody knew that at the time, because the media is what everybody knew. That's the media is what everybody was relying on to tell them the truth. I think I've made my point in this video. I think I've said enough, but just notice it within yourself. I don't want to lose too many people. I'm sure I've lost a lot of people already, but notice it within yourself. Notice it within the media or any kind of news outlet that you pay attention to. You'll never find out the truth. In fact, you will only hear a bunch of lies. The more that you start to accept contrarianism, the more that you start to look at things through a critical frame of thinking, and you question everything instead of just taking it blindly like a good little boy or a good little girl just sucking the media's tit. When you start to think critically, you'll start to notice that the media is exactly what I'm saying it is. It's not there to help you. It's there to engage you. And that's different. That's dangerous. That can be dangerous. It can be good. It can be entertaining, right? I'm doing the same thing, right? I'm doing things to engage you, hopefully, to entertain you. But also, I'm not trying to mislead anybody. I wouldn't say the media is trying to mislead necessarily. There's times where they are, but their main purpose is engagement, right? And at the expense of misleading people, at the expense of lying to people, they don't care, right? Where that's not my style. That's not most people's style. We don't want to mislead. We don't want to be misled. You'll look at it in a different light, I hope. Anytime you hear a big major headline, you'll know that that's at least not the truth. You'll know at least what the lie is. Then it's on you to figure out what the truth is. What's the purpose of this lie, right? The purpose of the lie between Russia and Ukraine, that Russia was starting it too, by the way, right? And to be completely fair, I mean, Russia, we don't know who started it, right? At least in Russia, in the eastern hemisphere of the world, they're saying that America started it. On the west side of the world, we're saying Russia started it, right? I wouldn't doubt it if America started it personally. If we started this war between Ukraine and Russia, I wouldn't doubt it at all. Right? We're trying to get Ukraine into NATO. That was one of Russia's big things. And nobody talked about that at first, right? Nobody talked about that, to even sympathize or to even suggest that there was a means where Russia was defending themselves. That was blasphemous. That was you were some kind of crazy mad person or communist, right? But the thing is, we kind of did, as Americans, as America, we did encroach on them, right? We had bio labs of who knows what, right? Weapons of mass destruction or chemical bio weapons in Ukraine. We had that's actually a thing that exists, that we lied about in the beginning, right? Whenever people were coming to the news saying these things, that the medias would lie about that, and they literally would just deny that was even a thing. And lo and behold, years later, we've actually found that to be true. Don't believe everything you hear in the media, you guys. Don't believe everything. Don't even believe everything I'm telling you now. Do your own research. Think for yourself. Just because you hear something doesn't mean it's true. And if you understand this, it will help you as an investor, as a speculator, because then whenever people say these tariffs are going to set the economy back, we're going to go to zero, this is so bad for the markets, and then you wake up on Monday and the markets moved 0.5% down, you'll wake up and you'll be like, of course they did. Of course they moved down 0.5%. Everybody, all the media was shouting that this is going to be terrible for our economy. Of course it's not going to be bad for our economy. Of course it's going to be good for the economy, because the media is, again, it's not there to help you. It's there to engage you. And what's the most engaging? Fear or happiness, right? We like happiness. We love happiness. We love peace, but fear is the most engaging, because fear is what you worry about. Fear is what dwells in your mind whenever you're having a good day. It's in the back of your mind sometimes, right? Whenever you're having a fearful day, it's not the good things that are dwelling in the back of your mind, right? It's full fear, full time. So we're very basic creatures. Media is not meant to help you. It's meant to engage you. Do not treat it as fact. Treat it as lies. You'll never know what the truth is, but you'll know what the lie is. I've got nothing else to say. I think I've repeated myself so many times in this. So this video went a little bit unhinged, but hit the like button, subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care. Bye.